little bit about the state of your secondary going into this game. You've had some guys that have missed some time with practice. Just where you are is getting everyone back, and how that's impacted your preparation going into week one.
Well, there's still some questions unanswered today, but they'll be answered by the end of the week. But I believe we'll get a few of the guys back. But it has been a little bit of a struggle along the way. We had to move some guys around, but I think in the end it actually will help us because we had an opportunity to play some guys at some different positions that we were hoping to when we started out, but not really knowing if we'd be given the chance. And as it turned out, we were. But again, as the week goes along, we'll make some decisions as far as who's going to actually line up where when the game begins.
What did you like about Brandon Carr?
Forgive me, say it again.
Brandon Carr.
What about Brandon?
What did you like about Brandon Carr?
Well, obviously he's an experienced player. He's played both at the corner for a long time, but also at safety when he was at Baltimore. So he's got some versatility. We're trying to improve our depth on the back end, and I think he adds to that depth. So, like I said, his experience and versatility would be the two things I like the most.
Hey, Mike, along the lines of the secondary, what are the traits that you really like out of Darian Thompson?
Darian is a very good football player. He's smart. He's tough. He takes coaching extremely well. And those are really the things that come to mind right away. He's done a very good job. He's paid close attention to all the finer detail coaching points in the things we do, and he's done a good job. Been pleased with him.
Mike, there's been speculation about Earl Thomas and the Cowboys. Have you had any conversations recently with McClay and Jerry Stephen about Earl Thomas?
I'm sorry, the end of it got washed, but you asked about, say it again. You get the thing that messed up a little bit on me. The question.
Oh, okay. I was saying that Earl Thomas.
Oh, okay. Earl.
To the Cowboys.
Yeah,
Earl Thomas has been linked to the Cowboys.
Yeah, I have not had any conversations with Jerry or any of them about it. When it becomes serious, then maybe there'd be a conversation. But from as far as including me thus far, I have not.
We didn't see any live tackling during training camp, but we also haven't seen every practice. Has there been any live tackling periods in practice?
We've had a lot of tackling drills, but you're right, they're not per se live drills. Because a live drill, I think you'd have to say, would be obviously in the form of a play of offense versus defense. Everything else is kind of a staged drill, as you want to say. But there's been pretty good contact. But again, it's been staged most of the time. So we've tried to, make it a real emphasis. It's no different than taking the ball away from someone. We work on that during all the drills we're doing, but we also have some specific drills where they're not necessarily what you'd call live, but they're as close to it as you can get without banging into each other.
How unusual is that for you in all your years of coaching, of going into your first game of the regular season without having done live tackling? And are you going to be interested to see, with all the drills that you guys have done, just what the quality of tackling that your defense will be able to show on Sunday night?
There's a little bit of wonder about that. I'm sure all the coaches around the league do to some extent because they haven't done it. But look, these guys are professional, and they've tackled and blocked and did the different things throughout their entire career, and they got here. But it might be a little bit on the not as precise and neat as you'd like at times. But I don't know that the fan would ever notice because it's, the guy with the ball is also obviously making a move to get away. So that I'm sure a lot of times they'll just credit with the ball carrier with doing a great job of making a move. But in essence, it might be a little bit on the lack of tackling that has happened up to this part. But there's a lot of things, as you guys well know, not only on the football side of it, but even on the personal side of it. Everything's different this year when it comes to the game. So without the preseason games and all those things that play into the regular season, without them, there's some unknowns. There's more unknowns probably than in a normal year.
Mike, given how long Alvin Smith has been away from football, what are your expectations for him based on what you've seen to this point, and how serious are you to see how it plays out early in the season?
Well, my expectation is that he plays well. I mean, I know he's missed some time, but I do expect him to play well. He's a very big, strong athlete that he's done a good job of competing in all the drills. He's been very well focused. I've been very pleased, and I think everyone else has been pleased as well with it. But it'll be a little bit of it'll be different when he goes out there. After 5 years, I think it's been, and you go out there the first time. I mean, he would probably be able to tell you exactly what the difference was in his mind. But just from my point of view, watching him, like I said, in practice, he's done a very good job. But when it becomes the game, I'm sure early in the game he'll have some thoughts that go through his mind regarding how he's doing.
Hey, Mike,
Have you had a chance to
you
talk?
can actually.
Have you had a chance to talk to Randy Gregory since he was reinstated, and what can he add to your team?
I have not had a chance to speak with him, but he adds another good player. I'm hopeful. If he, we'll see when he gets in, but it would be my hope that he would add to the pass rush on the edge in some cases, maybe even strengthen our base defense as a linebacker potentially. But I think he's one of those guys that's got versatility. He's kind of like a DPR Sam type of a player that we have 2 or 3 other players that are similar in that role. But I have not had conversation with him thus far. All good?
Mike, I'm sorry. Has Mike McCarthy at all allowed just how much he missed being around the game last year? And I'm just curious from you, in your perspective, I think it was 2016 might have been one of the only years you weren't around in the game. What was that like, and not being with the team, getting ready for a season, going through all these practices for you? And do you know what Mike might have been going through last year?
Mike has often said that it was a time of reflection, and I'd have to agree with him. Whether you get out because you choose to be out, or whether you're out because no one will give you a job, or whatever it is, I do believe it's a time of reflection, and Mike has said that several times, and so I believe, I think that's what it is about at that time. Certainly, if you also if you aspire to get back into the game, it is something that you do. And I think after that, in my case, and I do believe in Mike's as well, I think you come back, there's some things that you change, you do differently, only because you think they'd be better, not because they get you a job. I think that there's just things that you can reflect on when you step away from it. It sometimes gives you a more clear vision of what it is that you really want it to look like, rather than, because sometimes you can get lost in certain things, especially if you're having success, or if you're not. You can find yourself questioning a lot of things either way, but nonetheless, it's a time to reflect and try to improve yourself the next time you get back in.
Mike, y'all checked on your active roster, all of the draft picks. Where do you see those 4 guys on your side of the ball so far, and how would you gauge what you accomplished with them during training camp?
I think they've all done a very good job. I think Trayvon Diggs has done a very nice job. He's really, lately he's really had some good practice time, done very well. Gilmore is a young guy that I think in college was just kind of turned loose because he's a big, athletic, strong man that really, I'm sure in a lot of cases, was kind of like a man among boys. I mean, he's a big guy, but he still has some football to learn, but I think he's going to be a very good player. He's done well. Reggie has at the corner spot. We've moved him to safety. He's kind of playing back and forth between both, but he's also done a good job, shows good promise. I think he'll be more, in these early times, will be more of a developmental as far as that goes early on, but I think he's going to be a good player in time. He's got good football skills. Who would be, and then Bradley's done a very good job as well. He showed that he can rush the passer. His biggest strength to me is he's got an incredible motor, but he's a good size athlete, and I think all the guys will contribute at one point or another this season, and some obviously are going to contribute more, but I think they'll all be of use this year.
Thank you.
Given the injuries to your secondary, do you feel like Trevon is ready to go now?
I'm sorry, say that again. Injuries to the secondary, what?
Do you feel like Diggs is ready to go?
I think he's getting close.
Thank you.
Well, good. Thank you.